The following video is brought to you by Cobra, a peaceful organization. Disclaimer.
Greetings, wicked peoples. This is Fishy22.8 here, and today I'm going to dive into a different aspect of the ENERGON universe. I've seen a couple comments asking to expand on the ENERGON universe, and I like this character because I can do his voice. So,
Here's Cobra Commander, issue 1.
and remember, you all asked for this voice. You asked for it. We open this issue up on a rest stop called No Man's Land, as a mysterious stranger walks into the rest stop. The bartender asks him what it'll be.
I have need of a vehicle. Speak now if you can be of assistance.
One of the patrons asks him how'd you get here without a truck, and if the circus is in town with that list. As he puts on his jacket and leaves the building, our mysterious stranger follows him. As the patron approaches his vehicle, the mysterious stranger says,
Your vehicle will do nicely.
As the drunkard questions what's that supposed to mean, we hear his screams and then a splatter of blood. As the bartender and the lady the drunkard was with walk out, they see a horrible sight of his corpse lying in a pool of blood, with no vehicle or masked stranger around. Cutting back to some time before, we see Cobra Law in all of its organic glory, when suddenly there is an explosion that rocks the entire chamber as a massive horde of citizens attack a research center trying to break in, while screaming the battle cry of Cobra-La. Inside the research center are a bunch of panic-stricken scientists realizing that word of their experiments have finally reached outside these walls. As one of the scientists brings this up and starts screaming that we need to retreat, he is silenced to a quick bullet to the back of the head. As a figure with a yellow helmet with a red mask walks up holding a gun,
No one retreats.
as he shoots the dead scientist again to get his point across, he continues.
These intruders may not see us as threats because we are scientists, but many things can be used as a weapon, and science is one of them. Our main goal now is to protect our research. Open the doors. Let the fools come.
As he hands a bunch of spore grenades to different scientists.
Here, this spore will deal with them. I created it in these very labs.
As the scientists open the door to allow the civilians in to attack, the masked figure screams to kill the first to surrender as he throws one of the spore grenades. Still holding the spore grenade that he had given her, one of the scientists asks, Should I throw this now? As he mutters, You fool, at her incompetence, the explosive device goes off, engulfing him in flames. Some time later, sitting in a hospital bed of Cobra Law, the masked man is sitting there, staring off into the distance. A new eye peeks out over his bandages. Picking up his helmet, he stares at his reflection in its faceplate. The horrible, disfigured, scarred face looks back at him, when a voice tells him to put it on to hide your shame, as Pythona and 2 Cobra Law guards walk in to escort the commander to go see their leader. As the commander walks through the massive organic doors of the throne room in Cobra Law, a voice calls from the other side of the chamber. I found you lost in the outside world, aimless, searching for meaning, and brought you to Cobra Law, gave you a purpose. And this is how you repay me? Our people worship only the organic, the gifts of the flesh, and the natural order of life. Numerous science officers died while trying to harvest from the specimen, and yet you lived. You managed not only to interrogate it, but also find uses for its blasphemous technology. The disfigured commander spits back at Lord Globulus.
And I should be respected for that, Lord Globulus! Promoted in the ranks beyond just the bioscience labs into a position of leadership. And yet you have kept me here under your heel there. Why?
Globulus explains that there have been leaks from the science lab to the masses to rile them up, and he blames the commander. As Cobra Commander starts to deny these allegations, Globulus cuts him off with a quick shout, saying he knows the commander instigated the riots, and then sicks his guards upon the commander. Dodging the attacks from the guards, Cobra Commander simply states,
I prefer to let others do the fighting for me.
as he pulls several small mechanical drones out from his pockets and throws them at the guards.
Fear and hate are useful in keeping the citizens in line. You have proven that countless times. But Cobra-La is a powder keg. We've been cut off from the outside world for so long our resources are dwindling, and as much as it pains me to say, civil war is imminent. Something must be done. But as you can see, I found a way to strengthen Cobra-La.
As the commander's little drones finally finish off Globulus's guards.
To further your control of the world and give you what you want, you must trust me. I will prove my undying loyalty to you and Cobra-La. But to do these things, you must give me a new title, and I must leave my home here for a special mission in the outside world.
The commander pleads his case to Globulus, who starts to form a smile upon hearing what Commander says next.
My fate and the fate of Cobra-La is in your hands now, my lord.
The newly titled Cobra Commander walks back to the research facility and to the massive doors that the citizens were trying to get into.
You probably hoped I was dead. Too bad. You have served me well, machine. I was honest with Globulus. My loyalty to him and Cobra-La is steadfast. After each of our sessions, I did my duty and reported my findings. Except...
The sadistic serpent says to Megatron, who is hooked up to all sorts of machines inside the lab.
the data within you paints a fractured story of galaxies beyond ours. Cobra-La is advanced for a civilization on Earth, but it pales in comparison to what waits in space.
As he starts fiddling with the controls, he continues.
The other scientists thought they could get you to talk. They tried to get to know you, hoped you would come forward with your secrets willingly, but
as he flips a massive switch,
I figured out a way to rip it from your very soul.
As a massive burst of energy rips through Megatron. Chuckling to himself, the commander states that there are other energy signatures similar to yours on the planet. I will hunt them down and figure out your fuel source.
It does not merely power, it is transformative. Once I unlock its secrets, Globulus will have his army that I will lead, and no force in Cobra-La or any world will be able to stop us.
He tells the armless tyrant of the Decepticons as he walks out of the lab, only to have Megatron look up and grin as the door closes. Cutting back to now, we see Cobra Commander with his newly acquired vehicle staring at the sunrise. A voice calls out to the commander. First you disappear, and then you kill a human? My orders were to keep you safe. We need to finish our mission. A large, bearded man says as he walks up to the commander.
Globulus insisted you join me on my mission, but I will not entertain your foolish questions, Grunt. Now drive.
As they're driving along, the bearded man tells the commander you need a disguise.
I want the attention. I want the imbeciles to reveal themselves to me as we make our way through their world. We have a long journey ahead of us, and by the time we are done, this world will fear the name of Cobra Commander.
As we close out the issue, we focus on a hut in the middle of a bayou. As we get closer, we realize this is the HQ of the Dreadnoughts. And that concludes issue 1 of Skybound's Cobra Commander. I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. It was a blast recording all the dialogue for Cobra Commander. I'll voice one or two of the Dreadnoughts and various other characters throughout this 5-issue series, but I will not be voicing them all the time. So don't be surprised if in one issue they appear that I voice them, and then the next issue I don't even touch their voice whatsoever. I'm not entirely sure if I will do any more of the G.I. Joe series like Duke or Destro or any of the others that are bringing that whole side of the ENERGON universe together. I definitely was interested in Cobra Commander thanks to the videos from Moonbase 3, and with incentive from some of the comment section, I finally broke down and read the story, and damn, am I happy I did. It's a good read. And with that, I'm going to wrap up this video. So as always, if you've enjoyed what I've done with this video and you want the full experience of the comic, all the art, all the dialogue, everything it has to offer, please go out and buy your own physical or digital versions of the comic itself. And with that being said, this is Fishy 22.8 logging off. Thank you, wicked peoples. Until next time.
You should subscribe to this channel, or I'll flood you with so many ads you will bow to the will of Cobra!